Back in February, I visited my good friend Katie at Syracuse University, located in upstate New York. It was so fun catching up with her, meeting her friends.
Hi, Zoe's stairs.
Do you like Syracuse?
Yeah, very, yeah.
And seeing what life is like at another architecture school. It's very different from where I go to school in California. There's snow on the ground, groups of frat bros and sorority sisters wandering about, and wind so strong it makes your eyes tear up. I'm crying.
So cold.
Yeah, one difference is that there's snow here, but they both have beautiful sunsets. It's kind of heavy. They don't want you to get out, that's why.
Oh my god.
Perfect.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Zoe's vlog.
I'm collabing with Katie. She has a YouTube channel too. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Katie and I have a YouTube channel.
We're both fourth year architecture students.
And we went to the same high school together, so we took architecture classes in high school. Although I think that's not common, so don't worry if you don't have architecture classes in your high school.
Yeah, you definitely don't need that. We're gonna compare our college experience. So Cal Poly versus Syracuse. Syracuse, you need a portfolio to apply, but Cal Poly, you don't.
And at Syracuse, they recommend doing a portfolio review if you can come to Syracuse or go to New York City version of Syracuse. You can also studio shadow a current student.
You just sign up for that, or do you have to?
Yeah, and they give you like a first year student and you follow them around.
As a high school senior before you apply?
Yeah. If you come to Syracuse in the next year and a half, I might be your tour guide.
Oh, okay, let's go.
Yeah. First year, I don't know. There's a lot of hand drawing and model making. And you take like the 2 art class versions. In the fall, it's like hand drawing art, and then in the spring, it's digital. But I think nowadays, after COVID, they start digital stuff sooner. I think they even laser cut.
At Cal Poly, like your first year, they don't encourage you to laser cut either.
Oh, yeah.
But you don't really hand draw that much your first year. I think at Cal Poly, like their whole thing is like learn by doing. You spend like one day learning how to use a shop and like learning how to use a metal shop. Because at the end of your first year, they have this thing called Design Village. These groups of first year students build like something that they're gonna camp out in. It looks so cool, but I didn't get to do it because of COVID. First year at Cal Poly is like, it's interesting because you have like all the first year architecture majors, but also all the architecture engineering majors also take studio, and that's like their only year of studio. At Syracuse, all the architecture kids and all the years are in like the same building pretty much.
Yeah.
But at Cal Poly, it's like we have an architecture building, but some classes are in like other buildings too. It's more spread out. That's a different vibe. And you guys all have studio at all the same time in the same building all the years, right?
Yeah, it's always Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 1 to 5.
Oh.
Which seems like a lot, but...
And it is.
Yeah.
I think Cal Poly, like the first year, well, no matter what your major is, they like block you into your schedule. Nobody really chooses their classes. You like fill out a form of like ones you want to take, and then like other people set it up for you. But then the rest of your time at Cal Poly, you get to choose your professor and what classes you want to take.
Oh, what?
Yeah, so it's kind of good because in architecture school too, like your professor matters a lot because they're the ones that decide like the project that they're gonna do, and like they all have such a strong personality.
Yeah.
And like they have their like specialties and what they're good at too.
Yeah, I think first year everyone does the same projects throughout all the studios, but then starting second year, every professor has its own like theme. And I always get either a museum or a library. But there's like cool ones, like someone did a NASA campus studio, and then there's like Utopian Village. I don't know, there's so many cool ones. I just get unlucky.
I think first year, all the first years, professors try to coordinate and everyone like does the same project.
Yeah.
But then second year, I think everyone does like a similar type. Like maybe it's like a housing downtown or something.
Oh.
But then it gets more specific according to the professor. They try to make it like an even playing field so that like there's not like the good studios and the bad studios. Like you should all be like learning the same skills just in like different ways. But
us too, I think. Syracuse, the first 5 semesters are your core. First year you do drawing and intro theory, and then like intro building systems and history. But then second year you do building systems, like construction drawings kind of, but they teach you how to do it, and then you have another history. And then you do architecture theory, which is like crazy. If you like reading, you'll really enjoy the class. Even if you don't like reading, you'll enjoy the class, but it'll be more difficult. And then you take structures 1, which is like where to put columns in a building. Third year, fall, you take structures 2. And you take building systems 2. Like, then you're done with the core. So you already know structures and building systems and theory and everything. And then you go abroad, and each abroad program has a different focus. Fourth year, spring, which is what I'm in right now, is comp studio. You have to produce a bunch of construction drawings and make sure that your building can actually be built in real life.
What's comps?
Comp is just comprehensive studio.
Comprehensive studio.
And then fifth year, it's different for us. We used to have a whole year thesis, but now they're doing half-year directed research in the spring. There's a 3D printing one for us, and a chemical landscapes, biomaterials, one that actually built something like downtown. Oh, there's an AI studio. Oh, and then fifth year in the fall, there's no architecture classes. You just do everything else, like open electives and arts and science, because there's some requirements for that. That's Syracuse in a summary.
In a nutshell, a long nutshell.
Yeah.
Cal Poly in a nutshell, I can explain it more in another video, but we basically also have like a similar thing to core where first year you take studio and you probably will need to take some physics or just like general education classes. Your second year is studio, architecture history, architectural technology fundamentals, I think it's called. It's learning like code and like lighting and stuff like that. Or building code. And then there's also some like architectural engineering classes you take. And then third year you take studio, architectural engineering, structures, and like also building tech things. And then fourth year you do your study abroad. So you can either like go to study abroad in other countries, do a co-op or internship, or you can stay on campus and do studio from campus, or like some mixture of the 3. And then fifth year you do a thesis the whole year.
Are there any countries that most architecture students go to for study abroad?
There's like full year options and like quarterly options. So there's like Copenhagen, Florence, Italy, Rome, Japan, Barcelona, Paris. There used to be Mexico. There's like Washington, D.C. Yeah, you can go pretty much like anywhere. I don't know. It's a lot of options.
So nice. Syracuse architecture students can only go, like Syracuse itself has a lot of schools in other countries, but it has to be somewhere where there's an architecture school for Syracuse in a country, which is why it's only Florence and London and New York City. Maybe in 5 years, there'll be way more options. Do people play sports at Cal Poly or join clubs?
Oh yeah, people join clubs. Cal Poly isn't really a sports school, I would say. We don't really have sports spirit, school spirit, like in that way. Yeah, the vibe is very different here. Like, we came during their basketball game against like Duke. So everyone like went to the basketball game, and like, Greek life was happening all day. Yeah. So it was very different because Cal Poly, like, at least I don't really know much about like what's going on in the sports world, because I don't know, we don't even have a football team or anything. So I don't think we do. I don't think we do. But wait, do we? I could not tell you.
Yeah, I wouldn't know either.
I wouldn't know.
Oh, that's a good thing about Syracuse. We have peer advisors, and they're like older students. So as a freshman, you get an older student as your peer advisor. And definitely keep reaching out to them because they signed up. So they want you to reach out to them.
Every freshman gets an advisor.
Yeah.
Like, it's assigned, right?
Yeah, there's like 5 freshmen to an advisor. And then you can ask them questions, like not just first year. I still talk to my advisor. He's a 5th year now. And I still reach out to my advisees who are 3rd years.
That's good, because at Cal Poly, like, we have like mentor-mentee pairings, but it's all like student-led. Like, I think the AIAS organizes that. And then you have to like sign up for it if you want to do that. So it's not like you could go throughout your whole Cal Poly experience and not talk to upperclassmen.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think one thing I've noticed at Syracuse, it just has like a more serious vibe. I don't know. I feel like the students in the architecture school, at least, or the ones that we've met, it seems like you guys work a lot on like your studio, which I think is funny because there's like not much to do around Syracuse that you really...
That's probably why.
Yeah, that's probably why. Because I'm like, I feel like Cal Poly has like a lot of things to do outside of school. Yeah. So maybe people don't spend as much time in school as you guys.
That's probably it. Because Zoe came over this weekend to visit me, and there's like nothing to do. Well, if it was the springtime, there's like all these parks and like things you could do outdoors. But in the winter, it's kind of like just go to studio and work. I mean, you can go sledding if it's snowing. There's a club called Orange After Dark that hosts events like roller skating and ice skating and things like that.
Okay.
Every weekend, and movie nights. That people do in the winter.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's cold here like all the time. But people get excited when it snows until they have to walk to class. And then it's like icy.
I feel like most people don't have cars here, right?
Yeah,
Is that the majority?
Your first few years, you have to live on campus. So there's like no point because you have a meal plan.
First 2 years? Everyone lives on campus the first 2 years? Oh.
Well, your second year, you could live on South Campus, which is a bus ride away. And technically, you have a kitchen, but I think you still have a meal plan. So it's more likely, especially as an architecture student, because second year you're still in the studio a lot, so you'll probably need the meal plan. But then your 3rd year is when you can live off campus. And that's when people start going grocery shopping and maybe have cars. But I think a lot of people Uber.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I feel like Cal Poly, it's like the majority of people have cars. And then, everyone lives on campus the first year, and you're not allowed to have a car. But then second year, some majors, they're now requiring to live on campus another year. So all the architecture kids have to stay on campus. No. You know why? They don't want you to leave. No. because there's like a statistic that like, oh, if the college kids live on campus, then they like do better, perform better.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
I couldn't